Hi, I'm Amy.
And John.
And this is Grace Hohenstein. She's October's little indie warrior.
Oh, this way again.
Okay.
I
I don't have any money. Can I have some money first? Grace's journey began early August of last year, 2017. It started with an urgent care visit because she had woke up in the middle of the night a few times, screaming in pain, saying that her belly hurt. She had some labs drawn and they kind of worked her up for appendicitis at first. And then the doctor said that she had some misshaped blood cells at that time. She said she was too sick for us to bring her home, so we had to spend the night at the St. Cloud Hospital. There they kind of worked her up for a few other things. Kind of said she was a little bit constipated. We worked on that for a little bit, did some other tests. And then she spiked a temp, so they diagnosed her with pneumonia. Then we went home with some antibiotics, and she got better for a little while, but then continued to spike some temps. So then we brought her back to the walk-in clinic, and there they said that she had the start of a double ear infection, and that we probably brought her in a little sooner because of her recent pneumonia than other parents would. And at that time we started to notice that her lymph nodes were a little bit swollen, but since they had a source for her temperatures, we went home on some more antibiotics, and she got better for a little bit, but then again started...
Why you got this on?
We're telling your story. So we went home with some antibiotics again, and then she still was spiking temps, so we got her in with her primary doctor, and at that time, that's when they were able to diagnose her with leukemia based on her lab results. Her labs were so bad at that point that we had to take an ambulance ride down to Children's in Minneapolis.
Did you get to ride in an ambulance? Who'd you ride with? With Mommy? Yeah, pretty proud of that.
And that's where they did a bone marrow biopsy, and they were able to give us the final diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL for short. So 2 days later, she got her port placed, and she started chemo 2 days later on September 7th of 2017. She's gone through 5 different phases of treatment so far. Leukemia's split into phases of treatment versus the normal typical rounds of chemo like some of the other cancers. So she had a phase called induction. That was the first phase, where we kind of hit the leukemia cells really hard. She had a complication called typhlitis during that phase, which she was in the hospital for about a week with that, and then some other complications of fevers and that kind of stuff. She has to be on steroids as part of her treatment, and that causes her to not want to eat. So she got a feeding tube placed for the first time during that phase as well. The second phase was called consolidation. That one went a little bit better. We did most of that as an outpatient at home. She did have to come home with her port access sometimes, and we'd give her chemo through her port at home during that phase. Then during one of her phases called delayed intensification, that was probably the hardest phase for us and her. She ended up in the ICU for 4 days, or the pediatric ICU. She had another complication with the chemo that caused her to have some liver damage, which caused her belly to get really big. She was retaining some fluid in her belly. And that was kind of scary because she was on oxygen and almost needed to be intubated, but she never had to be. And then you weren't eating as well, so then she got another feeding tube at that time. Eventually we got to take that out, and now it's been out ever since. She hasn't had to have the feeding tube. But you liked not having to have the feeding tube anymore, didn't you? You don't like that, do you? No?
When they put a sticker on your face?
So since then, since July, now we've been on maintenance treatment, and things have been going really well. We've been able to have her at home and playing and with her little brother.
The whole treatment process has kind of been a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you. You learn a lot about yourself, your faith, your family, your good friends that you can lean on. It's been tough, you know. It is on anybody that has to go through it, and you wouldn't wish it on anyone. But we've got other family and friends that they've been going through similar, maybe not the exact same thing, but it's a strange, you know, brotherhood, or as you guys call it, a tribe that you're a part of. And an old friend, his wife was going through breast cancer, and we talked to him about it for the first time, and he said, you know, it's really nice talking to you guys about this, because so many people, you know, they feel bad, but until you've been through it, you just don't know. So it's been tough, but we've made it through, and I think been stronger because of it.
I think we're blessed to be a part of the Indie tribe, and with everything that Grace has been through and all the obstacles and complications that she's overcome, she's not done yet. She's got a long ways to go.
You take it out?
Can you see what's in there?
What's in there? Oh, you already know what it is. It's a nice warm hat.
Kayla show you before.
Give her a big hug. Get her.
Give you knuckles. Good job.